the mic, we can't hear you.
Okay, just talk with the police chief because of the situation outside. We're not going to open the doors anymore. I apologize. Okay, we're going to get this started tonight. I am the fire marshal for Cottonwood Heights. Let's go over a few of the housekeeping things. Your exits are on the sides and the rear. Please, in the event that we have to evacuate, please go to the nearest exit in a calm, orderly manner so everybody can go home safely tonight. So if you're here, please do not rush towards the back the way you entered. Please go to the nearest exits. On the side, you can go out and turn to your left.
Thank you.
Can you explain why you're not letting more people in to fill the seats?
The police chief said because of the situation outside, if they we want to get started on this. We apologize. Okay.
Let's move it to the stadium.
We are approaching our capacity with the occupancy of this building. Our exits are on the sides and to the rear. Please do not try to exit through the stage. It is limited exiting back there to the sides and to the rear. Again, please exit in a calm manner and have a good evening tonight.
I would like to start the evening with a pledge of allegiance. We may disagree on a lot of issues, but we can all agree about that pledge. Please stand, guys, and say the pledge of allegiance with me, please. Okay. Say the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I know we can agree about that.
Remember Hillary.
Here we go. Here we go. Thank you.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and
Thank you for being here. Thanks for making it in. We had a smaller venue. We went to a bigger venue, and maybe we need to go to the Vivint Center next time. I do believe as a representative, a part of my role and responsibility is to stand and to listen and to hear and to have a public dialogue. And that's what this is about. So this will be good. I want to hear from as many people as we possibly can. This is why we do these. I've done these the whole time I've served in the United States Congress. I know there are issues that are very meaningful and deep felt in your heart, and I want to stand and listen to those. So I'll do the best I can. I need your help collectively. I need your help We'll go across the room. I'll try to get to as many questions as I can. I don't want to give long speeches. I want to do first and foremost, I want to listen to you. It's important to me. There are things that you'll agree with me on. There are a lot of things you won't agree with me on, and I get that. But I want to hear it, and I want to hear it from you. So I'll kick things off just to get a sense of where we're at, and then please start raising your hands, and I'll start calling on people. Be respectful. Try to give a short, sweet, concise question or comment. To the extent we can do that, is the extent that we can get through more people than just a few. So President Trump nominated. Nominated Neil Gorsuch to the Supreme Court. All right, good sense there of where we're going. All right, let's start going to some questions. This gentleman in the purple, right there. Yes, sir. As loud as you can. Loud as you can. No, there's no way we're doing that. No. Stay right there. Go ahead and ask your question.
Oh, you're not
Look at, we did this before. I'll try to repeat it. The BLM plans, they call for maximizing public input. And the impression is that I don't want public input. I do want to have public input. Of course we want to have public input. We do want to have public input. There are disagreements about public plans. Some of you will agree with the positions I've taken. Some of you will disagree with the positions I've taken. So I appreciate what you said. Let's go over here. One of these no signs. This gentleman right here. Right there with that hat. Keep going. Hold on. No. I'm asking you. No, you're not coming up on stage. Sorry. This gentleman is fine. That disagrees with what I said. I'm trying to recognize him so he can say something. Yes. No. You do not have to. I'm recognizing this gentleman over here. You asked your question. I can't do it. I'm trying. Sir, I'm trying. Hold on.
Oh, come on, people.
I'm gonna let.
Set her down!
I want to get this person's different. This gentleman back here.
Go sit down.
Hold on. Please, come on, we're better than this. Listen. Relax. I can't even answer to his question. I want to hear as much input as I possibly can. Please, can we hear from... I just picked him out of the random. I don't know who this gentleman is. Go ahead, make your comment, please.
I'm sorry.
You know who I am?
I'm sorry, sir.
You don't know who I am?
I don't recognize you.
Running into me on the takeout of Westwater last fall. You have an interest in the Bears ears? Why don't I have a damn microphone? Certainly you didn't answer that guy's question.
some of the law enforcement components down the river. When I got out the river, there were two gentlemen there. I can't remember who the other person is. You were evidently one of them. Didn't recognize what they had on. And we had a good dialogue, did we not? We had a good discussion. We walked all the way to my car. I spent, how much time did we spend together? 15 minutes. 15 minutes. It was, hold on. Trying to answer his question. Were you the gentleman, I can't remember which one was which, right for our City Weekly, is that right?
It was the West Hostel.
Right?
I was the one who told you that I have nothing. I have nothing. Running rivers is my life. That's what I do.
So what's your question?
Hold on, let me
And I told you that the only thing that I'm ever going to have in my life is these wild and free lands. That's the only thing
Hold on, let him keep going.
And I think that you probably are an outdoorsman, and you probably do enjoy the outdoors. So I want to know why. Why are you bringing all this access to private interests?
Yes.
Well said. And I thought when we were there, not planned, and we did have a good discussion with the two of you. And it was very heartfelt, and I very much appreciate the perspective that you offered. Because you spent a lot of time down there. Like you said, you're not going to be rich. You're not going to be able to go out and buy this private land. And if there isn't good, vibrant public land, you're not going to be able to enjoy what you enjoy most in this life. I love our public lands for doing that. So, hold on. Did you like the fact that I withdrew H.R. 621? Yeah! Okay. I listened to it. All right, we'll talk about 622 in a minute. Okay, I'll come back to it. I will come back to it.
Right. Yeah. You'll
Hold
do
on.
it again.
So, what I liked about what I was trying to do with Rob Bishop in the Public Lands Initiative. And by the way, to specifically answer your question, I have no private interest down there. I don't have land holdings. I don't have any private interest. I really don't. What? My friends? I don't know who owns what, where. That's not. You say no, but I'd say, hold on. What we're trying to do with the Public Lands Initiative is come to a balanced approach. I hope you do appreciate that not every single person has the same viewpoint on the use of the public lands. And so what we were trying to do, hold on. What we're trying to do is find a balanced approach. You have outdoor recreationists, you have conservation needs, you have energy development, you have a whole host of needs. And one of the things that happened, hold on. One of the things that happened when the president designated the national monument, it would not meet with the congressional delegation. There are some aspects of the bill I think you'd really like. Okay, well, let me ask you. One of the things that I helped champion was 300 plus miles of contiguous wild and scenic designation down Desolation Canyon. Did you like that?
Oh, yeah.
No? You opposed to that? Because that was in the Public Lands Initiative. How about adding almost 20,000 acres to Arches National Park? Did you like that? Come on, speak up. Would you or would you not add 20,000 acres to that Arches National Park? All right, I appreciate it. All right. What What about the Cleveland Lloyd area? What about making that a national monument, protecting the largest collection of Jurassic era bones on the face of the planet? That was in the Public Lands Initiative. Okay? I'll come back. I'll come to it. I'll come to it. Yes. All right. Seems like, well, a lot of people want to talk about the other bill that I introduced, which was H.R. 622. You want to hear about that? Okay, let me go to that. Put your hand down for a second. Let me explain H.R. 622. One of the core questions you have to ask is, do you want more law enforcement or do you want less law enforcement to protect our public lands? Okay, I think that's a reasonable answer. That's what I agree with. But please, let me try. Please. I want to share with you what I'm seeing, and I want to hear what you're seeing as well, okay? But it needs to be a two-way here. Just let me get through this for a second. I won't drag out the time and filibuster here. Here's the reality. I can hear you, believe me, I can hear you, okay? So, I can't get to the next topic until we get through to this one, okay? Is that fair? There's lots we got to talk about, okay? The BLM police and the Forest Service police, I'm going to talk specifically about BLM, okay? There is but one BLM police officer for every 1 million acres. 1 million acres, okay? Hold on. Okay? Here's what happens. Here's the reality. It varies from year to year, but in many cases, if not most cases sometimes, the BLM doesn't have the resources in order to do this. They don't have the staff, they don't have anything else. So what do? They contract with the local sheriff in order to do that. In fact, if the BLM is out there and needs backup or needs help or needs assistance or is doing an investigation, what do? They call their local sheriff. Now the local sheriff is locally elected. They're elected by the citizens of that county. And so what I'm suggesting that we do is, in order to get more law enforcement that are there to protect the antiquities that you care about, that I care about, that others care about, to make sure that there isn't that there aren't the other problems that are out there when people are misusing the public lands, there needs to be a degree of law enforcement. What this bill would do was get rid of the BLM and Forest Service police and give that money and those assets and that responsibility to the local sheriff. The net effect of that is more law enforcement at the local level who can solve these problems and their crimes. There is no way that you're going to convince me that the BLM police and the Forest Service police have been doing the job that they were required to do. Just but I want you to know, that's my intention, is to actually have more law enforcement that can actually enforce and protect our public lands. It doesn't cost the taxpayers more money. In fact, it does drive it down to local level. And right now, that's what they do anyway. In fact, if the BLM has a problem, what do? They call the local sheriff. That's what they do. All right, let me go to another question. I've got to explain. Let's go to this gentleman in the hat back there. Yes, sir. Yes, go ahead. Let me ask. Hold on. Wait till you're quiet, man. Wait till you're quiet, then we'll start. Hold on. Okay.
I would like to know why, if Trump is too despicable for your 15-year-old daughter, what is he fined for me? That's part A.
Okay.
And part B is, why is such a despicable person not worthy of any of your oversight committee?
can I make a recommendation? If you do like Donald Trump, let's just hold that for another time, okay? So, listen, sir. Listen, wait. Please. I want to thank you for the sincerity in which you asked that. It's a great question, and let me try to answer it, okay?
Can I add one more?
Sure, go ahead.
I would also like you to actually answer it.
I'm proud of the fact that as a Republican, when I heard and saw that video, I called it out. And I said that was absolutely wrong. I withdrew my endorsement. If you want me to answer the question, give me more than 5 seconds to do it, okay? Give me a second. You can boo or cheer what you want at the end, okay? But let me try to answer the question. I think it's a very legitimate question. I know you asked that with great sincerity. Hold on, just hold on a second. There'll be plenty of times to yell and scream at me in a moment, okay? Just give me a second. Trying to get the answer out. I'm proud of the fact that I called it out. In fact, I wish more Republicans had called it out for what it was. It was despicable, it was unacceptable, but at the end of the day, I thought, it's the one private vote that I do have. I don't represent anybody else except me when I go in that voting booth. But compared to, no, I don't. I do not represent, when I go into the voting booth, I get the same equal vote as everybody else in this room, okay? We have the same vote. Hold on, I'm not done with my answer. I got more to this gentleman's question, okay? I do believe in my heart of hearts that given the choice that was before us, by far, Donald Trump was the better choice. There was no possible way I was ever going to vote for Hillary Clinton. No way. Okay, now let's talk about, let's go to the next 2 letters. Particular product, that was wrong. I called it out. I called Elijah Cummings, who's the ranking member on my committee. We jointly, as the chairman, myself, the ranking member, Mr. Cummings, and we sent a very candid, very direct letter to the White House and to the Office of Government Ethics. They need to investigate it. What Kellyanne Conway was wrong, it should never happen again, and there should be some accountability there. Absolutely. The other thing that I did is the GSA, which administers the GSA, which administers contracts. There is a contract there in Washington, D.C., of a hotel. It was the old post office building. And I have asked, back in December, asked for a copy of that contract, and it took time to get an unredacted version of that contract. Then there was a letter that went out today to the GSA, getting their opinion. What do they think of this contract? Where you have somebody who is both the tenant and the landlord, that does raise some eyebrows and some questions. And that's the appropriate thing to do. So, in terms of, doing my job, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Let me go to this gentlewoman right here. Hold on, I want to give some background here. I'm asking a woman right here, right next to you. This woman right here, I'm trying to get her. Okay, now let me give a little background. Hold on. Yes, let me give a little background. And maybe you could, but I'll do it since I got the microphone. Okay? Shh, hold on. When some of the comments during the campaign came out that were directed towards Muslims, I thought I was absolutely wrong, and I went on national television to say that I thought I was wrong. But I also did something that I wish others in the delegation in our state would do,
and that is I went out and started to visit mosques here in Salt Lake County. These aren't even in my congressional district, okay? Thank you, I appreciate that. And yesterday, after about a week of trying to set it up and find the time where I could actually be in town and find the time, we invited local Muslim leaders to come in and offer their perspective. And we had a good about an hour together. It's something I plan to continue to do. I was invited, there's a scout group that's at one of the Islamic centers that I plan to go visit, the kids that are going through that. I think that what I told the state legislature today, I had an opportunity to go before the Utah State Senate, and I took that valuable time there, and I went through and I told them this story, that I think it was wrong, and that we're better as a community. These are people that they're citizens, they're neighbors, they're friends, they're business owners. They've been vetted, by the way. And it's a shame. And I also said, look, I happen to be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I happen to be Mormon. I'm a convert to the church. And you know what? Mormons, as much as anybody, they ought to get and understand what it's like to be a religious minority, right? And that as a community, and as a society, and as a county, and as a state, we can do more to lift and buoy them up, make sure that they know they're loved and cared for. And one of the people that was in that meeting is this young lady here. So if you have a question, please fire away.
So I appreciate yesterday having that one-on-one conversation about the Muslim community. I have also a two-part question. The first part is that Trump did not, and this is going to be bad because I'm Muslim, I'm going to say it anyways, did not put Pakistan and Saudi Arabia on his list of banned countries. Quite frankly, Osama bin Laden was found in Pakistan and he's an Arab citizen. Both of those countries should be banned more than Somalia or any of the other countries. Why have you not addressed that, and why do you not look into that further? That's the first part.
Okay, let me repeat it so they can hear it, if you couldn't hear it. So on this list of so-called banned countries, it's a little different. Hold on. That's what he called it, okay? So-called banned countries did not include Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. Osama bin Laden was in Pakistan, so why weren't those countries called out, and why haven't I inquired about that? Yeah, and he was a Saudi citizen too. But those two countries. Yes, 9/11. Yes, go ahead.
That's the first part of the question. The second part is, second part is, you're on the oversight.
She hadn't quite finished the question yet, so hold on.
He does a lot with a lot of countries outside. He does a lot of things that is not something that a president should be doing because it's going to affect our economy, affect our people. He's doing his own business first. And that's right. Our security. So I'm really worried because I think in Utah, I believe, even the Republicans who voted for him were sold on the fact that Pence and you guys were going to make sure he had good people around him.
Let me try to address this, okay? And I do love Mike Pence. I think he's a great person. Really, Mike Pence? Mike Pence is like the most decent human being I've ever met. Let's go back to our first question. Do you have people that are up here? Hey, listen, we got all these. Are you students here? I'm going to answer the question, but really, seriously, in front of all these students. I'm going to answer the question. I'm going to
She asked a very good question about Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. Honestly, I don't know the answer to that question. I really don't. I don't know the answer to that question. I know that the seven countries that were on that list were identified in large part by the Obama administration for Secretary of I'd say, no, that's true. It is true. Okay? I've been to Libya twice. You had the FBI director who testified before Congress that they can't do vetting in many of these countries. In fact, I think a fair representation of the discussion we had, there wasn't a person around the table from the Muslim community who disagreed with the idea that people need to be vetted. They have to be vetted, right? So it's very difficult to do that in countries where there is no government, let alone a stable government. When we give people visas, we rely on the host government to actually help us in the background checks. So if you go and do something, hold on, when you go back and you actually give some, a fingerprint or something like, what are you going to check it against? And I think that was part of the concern. Yes.
Because that was a whole meeting. I was there. We talked about and Iran as being ones that maybe you could not vet because they don't have a system for you to vet them. The other countries, there was nothing said about those other countries. Somalia, all these countries that we have people here in
But that's why I cited Libya, where I've gone twice, where they have no. No, you asked a good question, and I don't know the full answer to it. I did yesterday, and I don't today. I really don't. I mean, it's a good question. I don't know the answer to it. All right, number 2. Hello. The good people around the president. Look, advice and consent. Hold on. Advice and consent. The ability to vet these people and to make a vote, that just doesn't happen in the House of Representatives. It doesn't happen. So, what do y'all think of Ms. DeVos? You like DeVos? Yeah. You love Betsy DeVos, don't you? I got a solution for you, though. Okay, hold on. Let me address it. She asked about a specific person. You're going to like the bill that I introduced, though, to abolish the Department of Education. Let's go to this woman right here. I did answer the question. What part did I not address? So, hold on. Yeah. Okay. Look, my job when. Hold on. I'm going back to. I'm going to give a more complete answer to what she asked. I'm going off the. We can come back to the Department of Education. I'm going back to this gentleman's question. Okay. What are we going to do in oversight? Okay. The Oversight Committee was founded in 1814. Short answer. I'm going to give a short answer. I'm going to give her a short answer. Okay. The whole premise and idea is to oversee government expenditures. That tradition has carried through. It expanded and contracted. It's now called the Oversight and Government Reform Committee. I think we have a very good, strong, working, bipartisan relationship in that committee. I don't agree with Elijah Cummings on everything. He doesn't agree with me. But when Elijah Cummings, when I had the chance becoming the chairman, I went to Baltimore and I visited his district. He took me to an AIDS clinic, and we had a lot of good interaction. It has everything to do with how this committee operates. Everything. When he reciprocated, he came to Utah. Where did I take him? I took him to Moab. I took him out on the Canyon Ranch by night. This is exactly what is important about how the Oversight Committee works. We jointly sent 300 letters to the administration. Jointly. Bipartisan way.
When we had an obvious problem this morning, when Kellyanne Conway made those comments, the first call that I made was to Elijah Cummings. In a very bipartisan way. Hold on. In a very bipartisan way, we addressed that issue. It took a few hours, and I want you to go home at some point and look at the letter that we sent. There is no case to be made that we went soft in the White House and we didn't have some vigorous oversight on this. Now, the other thing, most people, let me tell you something you're really not going to like. You want to hear this? Hold on. You're really not going to like this part. The president, under the law, is exempt from the conflict of interest laws. He's exempt. He is required to do a financial disclosure, which he has done twice. He has done twice. Okay. So we will take these issues one at a time. I have 6 subcommittees. We've got about 60 people. There's always in government somebody doing something stupid somewhere. So there is plenty to go after, and we will continue to go after it. We really will. I'm going to go to this gentleman right over here. I got to keep moving, or we're just not going to get. Look how many hands, and we're only going to get to our handful. Let's go to this gentleman right here. I'm going to identify the woman in red there.
Hi, so I wanted to thank you for being here. Also, I saw the letters that you sent today, and I appreciate you doing that. Another thing I saw that you did is in regards to an interview you did with CNN, August 24th, 2016. You were quoted as saying, if you're going to run and try to become the President of the United States, you're going to have to open up your kimono and show everything. Your tax returns, your medical records. You're just going to have to do that. It's too important. You went on to say, no matter who wins, we have a duty and a responsibility under the Constitution to actually be that check and balance. So I hope to continue to be the chairman of that committee. And I can promise you that I don't care who is in the White House. My job is not to be a cheerleader for the president. My job is to hold them accountable and provide that oversight. That's what we do.
Only Hillary.
Very good.
In an interview.
She's not done. She's not done. Let her keep going. She's almost there. Hold on. Let her keep going.
These are your words that
I
we're
know.
cheering,
Go ahead,
so
go ahead.
thank you. In an interview with the Salt Lake City Tribune published December 1st, you reassured the people saying of an investigation, I will when there is an allegation of wrongdoing. You used Title 18, Section 208 to assert that the president is exempt of conflicts of interest, but you admit he is not exempt of the emoluments clause. The allegations have been made. Congressman Cummings asked you to begin the investigation. The lawsuits have been filed. You acknowledged that. I'm asking you today to explain what your timeline is to uphold your word, or why there is a reluctance to do so.
Thank you for asking. Did everybody hear that? Do I need to repeat that? Yeah, I'll say the same thing because that's wholeheartedly what I believe. I said first about the tax returns. I did go on national television when Donald Trump said he wasn't going to introduce his tax returns. Then he said he was going to. I think he said he was going to do it after the audit. And then they came back later and said, "Well, I'm not actually going to do that." I said, hold on. I said, and I still believe it, that if you're going to run for president, you should have to release your tax returns. But it is, hold on. And my apologies for the bad visual on having to open up your kimono, okay? My apologies for doing that, for putting that visual in your head. But I do believe that. But here's the difference. That's my opinion. And my guess is everybody in here has that same opinion. But it is not required. Hold on.
I don't have that power, you do.
But it's not required by law. It is not required by law.
back to her in a second. I'll go back to her in a second. Okay, she stated it very eloquently. That is not required by law. I think there is a very dangerous precedent to have somebody who's in power to overuse that power. I have an authority. We've only got about 20 plus more minutes here, and I want to get to as much as I can. Did you want to follow up on that part? Go ahead. I'm giving her time to follow up. Hold on.
Thank you. So you have admitted that he's not exempt of the emoluments clause, and so how do we know whether or not he's in violation of that if we do not have access to his tax records? If you were to open the investigation that Congressman Cummings has asked you to do, then we would be able to subpoena that information and just verify whether or not that is the case. If it's not, then we all move on. If it is, then we all move on.
So the president is not exempt from the emoluments clause, right? He does not. He's exempt from the conflict of interest laws. He is not required by law to do his tax returns. I happen to think in that list that I put, that you read, I do believe that candidates for president and vice president should also have to do a medical disclosure. And I am working on a bill that Nancy Pelosi said she wants to join me on in co-sponsoring to make sure that a candidate for president or vice president has to do a medical. Hold on, I'm trying to answer the question. A medical disclosure, and it would work like this. And again, I haven't introduced it. I haven't prepared. It was part of her question. I'm going to come back to the emoluments clause. I am staying on topic. It's exactly what she asked me about, and she read the list of things that I think should be disclosed. I wish that he had done the tax returns, but it is not under law. And to do a speculative investigation like that would be wrong. I know you disagree, but I think it would be wrong. Number two, a prospective candidate for president or vice president would have to go to a medical evaluation that would be posted online. That's not targeting Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton or anybody else, but if you're going to have your hands on the nuclear code, you can move armies and navies into war. I think it would be fair to do a medical evaluation right there. But Elijah Cummings did have to try to actually question. On the emoluments clause, what Elijah Cummings did ask, even before he was sworn in, which I thought was a little over the top, to suggest all these investigations. I did not do an investigation into Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton's personal life. I did not do an investigation into Barack Obama's personal life. The investigations that I started were the fact that 4 Americans were killed in Benghazi. I went to Libya and found out she lied on me. She lied on me. That's what started that investigation. And as it relates to the so-called email investigation, that happened after the Inspector General found that there was wrongdoing, potential wrongdoing, by having classified information in a non-classified setting. But to go on a prospective fishing trip to just go see, American people knew that Donald Trump had a lot of interest around the world. They knew that, and that they voted for him. They voted for him overwhelmingly. Even here in the state of Utah, they voted for him overwhelmingly. Okay? But I do not agree with Elijah Cummings on this one, and it's not an investigation. Until there's evidence that he has somehow overused that to ingratiate his family above and beyond the current decision. Not the way the executive branch or the judicial branch or the legislative branch works. That is not the way it works. It does not just make your fishing trips. Okay? Let me come back over here. I'm trying to get this one. Hold on. I'm going to come to these people right here. Let me ask it too. Try to. Go ahead, then I'll come to you next. Okay? I'll come over here in a second. Hold on. This lady right here in the blue. She's standing in the aisle. Let her speak.
I'll use my teacher voice.
Thank you.
question from the 7 non-Muslim ban. I also have LGBTQ that are questioning Pence's perspective. I actually stood on the corner of Mike Lee and Orrin Hatch's office as they locked the doors and wouldn't even let teachers in to use the restroom last week when it was freezing outside, and we were protesting the DeVos confirmation. So as a proud Republican, as you said a few moments ago, can you answer on behalf of the Republican Party what I'm supposed to stand up and say to my students, my ELD, my ESL students, my Latinos in Action students, how this nation is where we are today, talking about a wall being built for my undocumented immigrants? How am I supposed to talk to my LGBTQ students about safe spaces when our nation does not feel like a safe space? And now we've confirmed Betsy DeVos, and we're corporatizing and privatizing our students for money.
Very well said. And I appreciate the sincerity and heart and passion. I appreciate you entering into and carrying that passion to students. And I don't know how many lives you touched, but there's nothing better than that. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for your commitment to our future. I do worry about the dialogue. I worry about the vitriol. I worry that the dialogue is not as conducive. We're talking past each other. We're yelling past each other. Look, I'm here. I'm trying to have this dialogue with you, okay? Okay? I am answering the question. And the question... Folks, I get one sentence into it and you say I'm not answering the question. I am answering the question, okay? I do believe that the vitriol is too much. I do believe that the messages that kids are seeing on television, the disparity in television is wrong. I'm trying to be here to help. I'm trying to be here. I don't pretend that you're a Republican, okay? I don't pretend that you vote for me. But it's important for us to have this dialogue and this voice, and I'm trying to find the right balance. I understand that you don't agree with me, but I do hope you get. We got to be able to talk and not just lock people out of bathrooms and do those kinds of things. So, I can't answer those questions about what they do. Okay, I can only answer for myself. I can't. I can only answer for myself. And I'm trying to be as representative as I can. Just because I don't necessarily agree with you on a point, we did identify several things that we do agree on. And that's the point as it comes to immigration, okay? As it comes to immigration, Luis Gutierrez, right? He's the head of the Hispanic Caucus in Congress. He's from Puerto Rico, but represents in Chicago. If you were to go and ask Luis, okay, and I hope he's okay with me doing this. He's one of my better friends in Congress. And if you ask him, who are the people that will actually sit with him and talk with him and work with him to try to find common ground, I guarantee you I'm on that list of the top 5. And I do that, and I put a considerable effort into that. It would be a lot easier to just yell, scream, and put all this stuff on television. But behind the scenes, I'm telling you, I am building as many bridges as I possibly can to find common ground. As it relates to immigration, one of the bills that I sponsored, okay, that just frustrates me, that has not become law, is the Fairness for High-Skilled Immigrants. They did this in a very bipartisan way. It was up on the floor, I think 2, if not 3 Congresses ago. It was a bill that I championed. It got more than 390 votes. What it did is it got rid of the per-country caps. Right now, there are country caps for the employment-based visas at 7%. No one country can get more than 7% of visas. Well, Mexico is our friend, they're our neighbor, they're next door, they got 100 million people, and so what we tried to do is get rid of that. On the family-based visas, the bill took it from 7% to 15%. But I'm sorry, but Harry Reid, Barack Obama did not get behind it, and it did not get to the White House. It did not, and that's just the fact. As far as the wall and everything else that you mentioned, I don't care how big, far, and wide the wall is. If you don't fix legal immigration, you never solve this problem. You never solve this problem.
I'm trying to give her back the floor here. Hold on. Give her back the floor. I told these people I'd come to them and then we'll go. Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
So I appreciate your response. I think what I want you and I want him, can't even say his name out loud. Can't even say his name out loud, right? Because what I look at is every day I walk into the classroom and I wonder which one of my students are not going to be there because their family has gotten so fearful that they've left in the middle of the night. I have students that I've heard through our state that have ran around and actually pulled girls, Muslim girls, hijabs off. But for me, I want Washington, D.C. to step out of this place of privilege and pretty much patriarchal privilege. Realize what's going on, like in the real classroom. Look, it's a real struggle. I pull into the school every day at 7, 10 a.m. and someone has gone through our school and put signs that say in Arabic, in every language you can, that we're a safe space. I have students that are fearful. I have families that are leaving. And I think I need you to remember the human piece. That's really what we're struggling with.
I hear you and I agree with you. Okay? I agree with you. So thank you. And I hear you and I do agree with you. So yes, I think we're going to talk to. I think there is.
Please.
Right, let me. Okay, I'm going to hit you ask 2 questions and I'll answer really fast. Everybody's pointing. It's like the price is right here. Let me go ahead. Yes. I know. I understand. Yes, go ahead. You're taking away time. Keep going. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I'm really aggressive, and that's why you're answering my question. But I'd like you to pay attention to my friend after me, who's very polite and very nice, and she's in the pink beret. After me. But I'd like to say...
Everybody.
I know. Well, then if I only get to go, then I'll let her go.
Okay, go ahead. The pink parade. Yes, go ahead. So, thank you.
First of all, please let me finish.
Very kind of you, by the way.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for being so this evening. And yes, I do appreciate that you withdrew HR 621. And I found your constituent from Orem.
Very good.
I will take you at your word that you want to talk and that you want to build bridges, because that's what I want to do as well. So I need you to understand, when I was in my 20s, I received an abnormal return to a routine pap smear. And because of this, and because of my family's history with cancer, I was advised it was imperative for me to continue to receive those yearly screenings so that we could catch those cells if and when they turn to be cancerous. Fast forward a few years, suddenly and unexpectedly, I found myself single with 3 small children, working 2 jobs to put myself through college, and with no health insurance. Now, I was actually able to keep receiving those vital yearly screenings because of my Planned Parenthood. These helps ensure that not only did I graduate college, summa cum laude, but that I also, and far more importantly, that my children were able to continue to grow up with a mother. So, sir, can you please explain to me why you are trying to take that vital health provider away from women like me, especially?
She's not good time. Hold the applause for a second. Keep going. She's almost there.
Especially in light of the new reports that indicate that community health centers will not be able to fill the gap should Planned Parenthood close.
Thank you. First of all, I think this. Thank you for yielding to the gentleman, because you're right. The vocal. Anyway, thank you, and I appreciate the sincerity again, just like some of the other speakers, in which you offered those comments. I will tell you that I lost my mom to cancer. She passed away in 1995 as cancer. She was not very old. She was diagnosed in her 30s. And it was one of the hardest things I went through in my life. We had my dad
He died from cancer, prostate cancer. He was one of those old school guys who, I don't need a checkup, I can get through anything. And doctor told him if he had had any sort of checkup in the last 8 or 10 years, he'd be here today. It's hard. My wife, Julie, come on. Show a little decency here, okay? I'm trying to tell and convey to her, and maybe nobody else is going to listen, but I want her to know that I care about this, and I care deeply, and I care personally. And it's within my family, okay? I'm going to get there, okay? Relax. Be good for your health. My wife, Julie, she works with a plastic surgeon, and she works exclusively with breast cancer patients and those that are having to go through reconstructive surgery. I'm proud of her for doing that. Planned Parenthood, my concern, okay, and you're going to disagree with this. My concern is to give that organization federal taxpayer dollars when we have so many in our community who disagree with that. There are a lot of people and a lot of money and a lot of services that can be offered through these community health organizations. I don't believe with the resources that they have $100+ million endowment. Their revenue is more than $100 million. Okay, and so I'm trying to get those. I believe a better use of the money that would be more conducive to the greater number of people that would actually be in those community health services. All right, sorry, there was another person over there. Yes, this gentleman right here. We have this gentleman right here. This sir, right here. In the front here, this gentleman.
I would just like to say 2 statements and a question. I voted for you.
Thank you.
I voted for President Trump. I support you both.
Come on.
I also supported President Obama, even though a lot of Republicans 4 years ago felt the way you do tonight. What I'm asking you, Congressman, how do we come together as a country now? He's a president. We're getting this hatred as citizens. They're yelling at us. What do we do?
It's a good question. For those of you that couldn't hear it, he said that he voted for President for Barack Obama and helped make him the president. He voted for me, but he also did vote for Donald Trump. And the reality is, Donald Trump is the president of the United States.
Amen.
So what is it that we're going to do? What is it that we're going to do as a community? Okay, to come together. To try to just not yell and scream at each other, okay? I'm going to do everything I can to try to listen to as many people as I can. You're going to agree with me on some things, you're going to disagree with me on other things, but we need to make sure people are involved. And to the young people that are here in front, thanks for being here. You better get a lot of extra credit for this, okay? You are our future. Yes, they should. They should be in the future. And that's exactly what we're message. We want and need young people to be here and be involved and be engaged. And we're going to encourage them. Right? I'm going to go to this gentleman over here in the red pants. Red pants. Or pink pants, whatever you want.
The cancer question, you didn't answer it.
Yes, I did answer the cancer question. Go ahead. Hey, look, let me add, okay, the cancer question, if it was up to me, we would spend like 4 or 5 times as much as we do on cancer. It kills 1,500 people a day, and that should be more priority for us. We're going to go to this now. Come on, I already gave you time for a question. Hold on. Yes.
Sexual predator holding office, what are you going to do for women's rights and sexual assault victims?
question is, what are you going to do about sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, sexual predators? Let me tell you what I am going to do. That's a very good question. For 2 years, as the chairman of the Oversight Committee, for 2 years, we have heard testimony from the EPA, the National Park Service, a host of others, where you have sexual misconduct, sexual predators, people are doing things that they should never be doing. What I heard back from the administrator, what I heard back from the administrator of the EPA, what I heard from Sally Jewell, the Secretary of Interior, what I heard from a number of these people who are in very high important offices that do help control us, they said, we need tools. We need the ability to fire people. We need the ability to steal power. So you want to know what I'm doing about it? One of the things that we're doing is what's called the IG Empowerment Act. The idea is to make them so that they can get in there. We have people that will just resign and then they just get let go. We have too many at the Department of Justice that are not actually prosecuting these because they don't think it rises to a level that's worthy of their time. That is wrong. We also have to define, particularly in the federal government, what sexual harassment and sexual misconduct is done. If you go within the Department of Justice, you will find between the DEA, the FBI, the ATF, they all have different standards, and their table of penalties is a joke because it goes from nothing to firing somebody, but they never fire anybody. So we have been spending a lot of time working on this, and I do hope that we do have a bipartisan bill to address that. That is really the goal of the government. And I think we can do it. Let's go to this woman on the right, right here, the best. The time's up, but I'm going to keep going. Yes. Right here in the best. Yes.
Thank you for taking my question, Representative Davis. Thank you very much. I'm also a retired teacher, so I feel like we've got more than our share of time. And I'll also use my teacher voice so you can hear me. Yeah. I'm a retired teacher, and I taught for 35 years in Salt Lake. And I rarely had a discipline problem because I laid out my expectations very clearly, and I laid out the consequences. But once in a while at the beginning of the year, after just 2 or 3 weeks, I could look at a kid and think, you're going to be a problem. It's been 2 or 3 weeks.
Thank God it's Republican.
Without avoidance with location, what is your line in the sand? We want to know your line in the sand. Really happy.
Thank you. I don't know what grade you taught, but thank you for devoting your life also in the teaching profession. And do you mind my asking how many teachers we have in the house here? Very good. Very good. Good, thank you. Thanks for being involved, and thanks for teaching. My kids all went through public school. What is the line? My line in the sand is the law. The president has to abide by the law, just like everybody else has to abide by the law. But let's also understand that the law, some of the things that I've heard in accusations don't step over the line of the law. Is the president required to disclose he's not required to do that by law.
Is he required by law? Is he exempt or not exempt from that? Hold on, is he exempt or not exempt from conflicts of interest, which a lot of people have expressed concerns about? And he's exempt from that part of the law. It is important. It is what? Impeachment is not high crimes and misdemeanors. It is also making sure that he abides by the law. And I cannot, it's not a Jason Chaffetz line. It's not a Mick Mulvaney. It's not, pick your person. It's the law. It's the law of the land. And it has to rise to the level of high crimes and misdemeanors in order to get to that point. Who doesn't want me to go with this young lady right here? Listen, she's going to try to belt it out. I appreciate your bravery in doing this. You got it, girl. You got to be quiet. It doesn't work if you're not quiet. Nice going. Let her go.
Give her the mic. What are you?
Shut up.
What are you doing to help protect our water and air for our generations and my kids' generations? Do you believe in science?
Keep going.
Do you believe in science? Because I do.
To a congressman on television, all these people do that, so more power to you. Stay being involved. Keep being involved. We need good people on both sides of the aisle. I don't pretend to have all the answers to all the questions, okay? We need good people on both sides of the aisle. I got relatives that are good members of the Democratic Party, and so I can thank her for her doing this. Come on, we're not yelling it out, okay? What is thrown into our air, what is thrown into our water, obviously has an effect on our environment. We have a major problem here, and particularly Salt Lake Valley, with the energy. Okay, we have to make sure that we're being responsible for it. You have a different approach to how I do that than I do. Okay, I do support an all of the above energy strategy, and I do think coal is an important part of that. One of the things we're going to have to deal with in our state is how to deal with transportation, okay? There's a lot of people that want to move to electricity. Well, how in the world do you think the electricity is generated? Personally, I'm taking an approach on all of you. I think that is the right, responsible way to do it. And I support that. So, yes. I do support solar. I think solar is a great mix. Now, we have to be careful how we do it. Remember, some of the Democrats have gone out and created these great solar farms. Now they're destroying the wildlife, the raptors, we're past our time. Let's go another one. Yes.
Here, I am in fact not paid by George Soros to be here. Would you please define tribal sovereignty?
Tribal sovereignty? That is a difficult question, right? The idea that they and Utah chapters have been very vocal in meeting with me and expressing their concern. That's not true. There's 7 chapters here in Utah. We've heard from them, and Rebecca Benally is the locally elected Well, if you recall, this Bears Ears winery is not on that Navajo Nation. We got about 3% of the Navajo Nation. I disagree with you on that. I just disagree. All right, let's do a couple more. Let's go over here in the middle. Go ahead.
Hey, student!
Go ahead, stand up. Stand up. This guy right here. With the jacket on, with the jacket on. You're wearing green.
During the election, the president made it clear that he subscribes to ridiculous vaccines cause autism. BS. How would you respond if he tries to make that policy?
On the vaccine issue, there have been a lot of people in my offices and other meetings that have really expressed concerns about the rise of autism, but also, is there a cause and effect through vaccines? There are a lot of people that have expressed that concern. I'm just saying that I don't want to send a message that suggests that vaccines are not safe but at the same time, I have had a lot of people who have expressed concerns about how this thing's going. One of the things our committee is doing is looking at the vaccine court. If you have a vaccine injury, there is a major backlog there that we believe we should address. And I don't know if that results in a hearing or legislation or anything other than us looking at it and asking those questions. So let me go to this woman over here, white pants. Yes.
Thank you so much. My name is Bobby Hughes Millman. I am a Marine Corps veteran. I'm also a victim of a violent crime perpetrated by a man, by more than one man. And I know what it's like for a man in power who thinks that it's okay for them to take their power over women. I applauded when you came out and other legislators came out after that recording had surfaced. But then when you walked it back, I was heartbroken being a woman who is a survivor of attempted rape, a survivor of spousal abuse, my ex-husband, and now I've heard that our president intends to defund the Violence Against Women program, and the newly confirmed head of the Department of Justice has been very vocal about his opposition to the Violence Against Women Act. Now, in the Marine Corps, we have a saying, no man left behind, but I want to extend that to no woman left behind. Personally, or someone whose wife, daughter, sister, a friend, someone who won't tell anybody because they are too ashamed or because they feel that they won't understand, because I know how that feels. And I want to know, Senator, when you look into your wife's eyes, do you see all these women?
Don't be swearing at me like that.
Look into your wife's eyes, do you see all these women? Will you see all these women who have been affected by violence? And if our president and our Department of Justice tries to take those rights away from us, will you stop them? Or will we have to say that Senator Chaffetz allowed our government to say,
Congressman, just call me Jason, it's fine. Listen, A, thanks for serving our country. Thank you for your service. Quite frankly, we need more women in our armed services, so thank you for your service. And from my bottom of my heart, I don't know you. I haven't met you other than this, but I am truly sorry that you had to go through that. And there are far too many women who've been on the receiving end, physically, mentally, verbal abuse, and those types of things, and that should not be tolerated. It really should. And so, I understand that you disagree with my ultimate vote for Donald Trump, okay? But look, we have got to make sure. One of my very best friends in Congress is Trey Gowdy. Trey Gowdy, a congressman from South Carolina, is a 20-year prosecutor. And he is now the chairman of the crime subcommittee on the Judiciary Committee. I am not an attorney, okay? Usually in my town halls, when I say that usually when I say that I'm not an attorney in a town hall, usually I get like a standing ovation, but nevertheless, I'm on the crime subcommittee with Trey Gowdy. As Trey Gowdy has laid out the next 2 years and things that we need to do within that subcommittee, within the judiciary, there are a number of laws, some of them are reauthorizations, some are new laws and things that have to come into place. I know his heart's behind that, I know my heart's behind it, and the very best thing I guess I can do is to go back and demonstrate that. Not just talk about it, but actually demonstrate it. So that is my commitment to do that. Listen, hold on. I want to thank everybody for being here. You can understand I gave you all these questions. I know you love your country. I love this country. I thank you so much for being here today. God bless you. God bless you.
Outside to see what the crowd is like outside.
Bring him out.
Well, the event is over, people are streaming out, and it's pretty much too dark to see anything else, so we're going to be signing off. Thanks for tuning in to the Salt Lake Tribune live stream, and thanks for commenting and liking and sharing.